Hello, Dr. Wiles. My name is Christian Seaman. I'm the founder and CEO of Peregrinus Solutions LLC, a autonomous vehicles manufacturing and service provider based in upstate New York. Together with my wife, who's a biomedical engineer and registered nurse, along with the rest of our team, we've been kind of trying to develop the same thing you are, which is a open source 3D printed respirator mask for our healthcare workers, and we've kind of been working with our local hospitals too. And I want to salute you for the efforts you've done so far. My wife's parents live in Connecticut, and they sent me the news article on you yesterday. And it's really exciting that you're getting fit tested in the hospitals. I'm going to send your video on to our hospitals here too. One of the things that there are two points I wanted to just offer to you that we've been doing based on what feedback we've received from our local hospitals. They want to have filter media that's certified by NIOSH and the FDA, which I'm sure you're aware of. What we've done in our latest design is I 3D printed parts, and I'll show later in the video with the slicer software how this all fits together. But this is basically just right now it's just a 4.3 inch diameter circle of foam. But that's the filter. 3M makes filter cartridges that are 4.3 inch diameter circles. They also make a somewhat rectangular version as well that we could make. But the idea is that this just accepts the already approved filter cartridges that 3M makes. They're easier to mass produce, I believe, than the masks themselves. And along the lines of what you're doing with the filter media you have, I'm thinking that somewhere this P100 or N95 material is available in large rolls, and any organizations or individuals, hobbyists that have CNC machines with laser cutters could just cut this already approved material out, mass produce it, and then send it out to the hospitals, who could just assemble as a community. We could produce the masks that you're doing, perhaps with some of these tweaks. Just go ahead and mass produce those, and then the hospitals, the other members of the community, could go ahead and produce filter media, or the hospitals just could get the actual 3M filter cartridges. The 3M filter cartridges, another advantage of them is they last for 40 hours, whereas the normal N95 masks and other filter media like that isn't nearly that long of a lifetime. The second point of feedback that was really important to our local hospitals is that they wanted a nice seal along the face. We are finding the PLA just being a hard material, it doesn't conform to your face. So in video number 5, I mentioned making someone in the community perhaps can work on making a mold to get silicone gaskets mass produced for each size of corresponding 3M or Kimberly-Clark, like face mask size, so extra small, medium, large. I'll have an STL file for each of those masks to print it out at, and then also have a corresponding STL file to 3D print a mold for making a silicone gasket to attach to the mask here. All I did for this one to attach this circular component here is just use some CV glue. This is just available from Harbor Freight. It's super cheap that way. and just a couple dots on here, and it's not going anywhere. And so now moving onward, you'll see in the 3D the slicer software, there's a cover on here, and there's also going to be little wings that print out on this. This is just my first initial prototype to see if, make sure it was actually the right sizing. That will allow for the cover to come over this and put like a rubber band like the surgical tubing. I thought that your method of the straps was just a stroke of genius with how stretchy those things are and readily available they are. That was just great. So thank you again for the work you're doing. We really appreciate it. My wife and all her coworkers appreciate the work everyone's doing. So thank you very much, and I'll be moving on to the slicer software next. But thank you again, and we'll be in touch. I'd love to extend any help we can offer. Our team is just basically working on this nonstop. We've stopped doing everything else just to try to get something out there that's really suitable, meets the hospital standards, and suitable to their needs as a replacement respirator mask. So we'll be in touch. Take care. All right, so we're just in the Ultimaker Cura software here. This isn't the print orientation that I'd print these with. This is just as a demonstration for how this would fit together. So this is that section that's already glued onto the front of the face mask using super glue. And then these are the little wing sections here that will get 3D printed out as well. These are little cutouts in the front section of the mask. I ran out of 3D printing filament last night, and I'm still waiting on my resupply from a Micro Center. This is the front section. This basically, the filter media will fit in here, and then this front section will slide over and hold the filter media tightly in place so that no air can filter around the sides or get in behind it. And then these wings here will allow for a rubber band like that tubing to nicely secure the cover and the filter media on to the mask. So this will just be a two-piece assembly. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm more than happy to send these files over to you, and I'll get them put on the internet if this is of any interest. I think it's a nice way to allow for the 3D printable parts that don't need to be certified to be mass produced by a wide audience, and then have certified filter media either supplied by 3M or in the actual cartridge form, or in the bulk roll form where it could be CNC laser cut and mass produced and then sent to the hospitals that way to be inserted into the masks as and replaced as needed, and then the masks themselves could just be sanitized and reused over and over again. So thanks again. I really appreciate your efforts, Dr. Wiles. Thank you. I'd love to help collaborate and be of any assistance that we can be. Thanks again for all of your hard work out there, healthcare workers, and keep up the good fight against COVID-19. For the rest of us, let's try to stay inside, social distance, and just keep remembering to wash your hands. Take care, and we'll be in touch soon.